Hello. Hi, Eva. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Yes.
To start, growing up, loved older rock music because my dad was really into, the Who and the Beatles and things like that. And so for me watching this, I was very much like, oh, I understand her because that would be me if it was like the last concert of whatever band was happening and I could go, which we know that Willie is still performing. But for you, what was it about Willie in particular that really was just like, this is the man I want to tell us about and the story I want to tell?
It's because Willie's music inspired me like from an early age. So I was a fan when I was a little girl. My mother had like a tape,
Mhm.
starter's tape in her car. So that was the first time I listened to him. And then, yes, I was a huge fan as a little girl. And then I stopped listening to him. And after I finished my first short film, um, this idea came to my mind. And actually, really started writing the script being completely inspired by his music while listening to his songs. So his songs had like a huge influence on the scenes and how I wrote them. And it was very exciting that at some point Peter Bogdanovich was saw a short film I did at a festival. So it was really, and he was reading the first draft. Um, and then, yeah, he basically made the contact to Willie and his management. And so I got the chance to finally see him the first time at a concert in Los Angeles at the Hollywood Bowl, and afterwards meeting him. So yeah, it was it was really kind of a special story to me because it has surely some private influence, but then I was telling more in metaphor and more abstract. Yeah, but
I love it. And when I also like, I'm how people write is always very fascinating to me because I also write with a soundtrack. And they always tell you, like, don't do that because you might not get like that specific song that you've had in your mind. But when you are doing something like this, that is so specifically like, yeah, Willie Nelson's gonna be in the movie. It's very Willie centric. Did that free you in using that music to kind of inspire every scene once you knew that he was going to be a part of it?
yes. I mean, actually, I didn't know right while I was writing, I didn't even know if he's going to be part of it, but I couldn't help it because if there's something that inspires you, I mean, I just follow it. And I mean, I kind of followed my heart up to the end. It was not easy. And I mean, for sure, it was so important to me to get first of all him as an actor in the film, but also the song specifically for sure had a meaning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do think I love that there's just an Elvis impersonator. Like there's just so many things that I'm like, this is so weird and fun. I love it. Like
Yeah, maybe it's because out of my German perspective, since I grew up like in Germany, like where everything is more like claustrophobic and smaller. And so as a little girl already, I had this watching John Ford westerns and stuff, always like this yeah, view on America, like this wide, open, colorful country, and the Elvis impersonator. So all these elements surely come out of a perspective even stronger from somebody who didn't grow up in the US. So yeah.
oh, I love it. And I do kind of love her innocence too, because she sells a Porsche for $7,500 and is like, this is correct. Just like leaves. Was it when you were writing her? Because I know it is inspired, by your own love of Willie, but was it that she just had that innocence, or was she just someone who wanted a change and wanted out and was doing whatever she had to?
Again, what was the question?
When you were writing her, because she has an innocence about her, was it more about keeping that innocence, or was it more about showing a woman who was just trying to find a change and kind of get out of the life she was leading?
I think it's both. And I think it's kind of connected, this innocence and being kind of naive,
Mhm.
and not really, yeah, just going out of a passion and an urge emotionally, because actually her life was not that bad. It's like, actually there's a house, there's a car, there's a husband, and still she felt this emptiness and was depressed and unhappy. And I just wanted to show what music can do to a person, and that it can be kind of healing and waking up and bringing us back to our instincts and what we are really longing for.
Yeah,
So
I love it, and also, like, so was You're Always on My Mind was, like, a big song within this movie, which is also funny because, Elvis impersonators. Was that kind of the point of using that so heavily because it is a song that both of them have covered?
Um, no, but I'm sure you're completely right. Absolutely. That's just kind of, but the meaning of the song after the whole journey and
Mhm.
the lyrics just fit so perfectly, yeah, that was mainly the reason. But you're right. It's a very famous
It
Elvis
it
person.
doubly works because
And
it's like,
Elvis
oh,
song.
she's
Yeah.
going for him and it's Elvis. But I
Uh-huh.
do love, just how, like, Western United States this whole movie is and how it feels, and that she is someone who just literally got off of a plane from Germany and got thrown into the western side of this country. What was your favorite thing about kind of exploring that area of America as someone who grew up in Germany and through the eyes of a woman who, in theory, had never left Germany?
The desert. I mean, I love the desert, the openness, the whiteness, and the nothingness where everything can happen. So I loved shooting in the desert. And personally, I love to go in the desert, this quietness. And
Mhm.
it also has such a symbolism, for her, like losing everything and basically her old life, herself, and then finding herself again with Willie. So that's my favorite part, the
Yeah,
deserts.
I do love too, she finally gets to meet Willie, and then they're trying to spell, and it's just not working. But it is very sweet to watch this scene where she's clearly starstruck at someone she really loved and wanted to meet, and then she's just butchering it until the last moment, which made me cry a little because it was like, there's so many musicians that I wish I could be like, this helped me at this part kind of deal. When you are leveling that comedy with an emotional moment that people are going to remember and feel for, especially with, like, her telling Willie thank you. What was the fun of getting to, be with Willie Nelson in this scene, just saying letters back and forth, trying to spell these
Even
letters out?
that was actually the first scene we were both shooting together, and it was really funny. It was not stopping the spelling, and actually, this is kind of typical German characteristic to be so on point and correct, and everything in order and organized. And it was also, while I was writing it, I was really asking myself, okay, Eva, how would it really be if you meet him the first time, or the character is meeting him? And comedy mostly comes from real life and real, to me, like dry and the drama in there.
Mhm.
And I wanted to be actually realistic and not doing some fancy ho ho, and now they meet and become best friends. It's more, no, the character is nervous, doesn't know what to say. And I think it's so human to just come with a stupid question after a long journey. And I mean, that's the only question that came up, like, may I have your autograph? So yeah. That-
When it's so true, because I was like, I met someone who my whole family loves, and I panicked. And when he asked where I was from, I said where I had literally flown in from, not where I was from. And they all yelled at me. And I was like, it's not my, like, my brain was just like, I got off a plane from New York, so you know, but
Exactly.
it is that thing where you're just like, I don't know how to think. And it was so relatable watching her ask for an autograph after having fallen and then just be like, I here's how to spell. None of these letters are making sense together. It's fine. But for a last question, with a movie like this that is, while specific to Willie Nelson, is universal for music lovers to kind of have that dream scenario of going to a concert and meeting the artist that gave you this music you love. What do you hope audiences take away when they get to see Willie and Me?
um, that music connects us all, and that everybody like feeling lost, everyone who's feeling lost and can find the way back through music, and that we are all not alone in this, like getting lost and lonely, and that it's important to just find a dream and follow it, being
I love
courageous, and
mhm.
and really not being scared to fail. I mean, I failed so often, even doing the film, but if there's passion, there's power, and then just go for it.
I loved the film. I thought it was so funny and weird in a perfect way. And like I love that Willie Nelson's just in a car with you, driving you to the there's just so many elements that I think are so funny. So thank you so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It makes me so happy.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Have a great one.
You too. Bye bye,
Bye.
Rachel.